bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and hoes and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
Facts. Boots.
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Ulysses Solomon Archer.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I am Zach, joined by for some reason this always seems to be the hard part, just because I want to make sure that you get the credit that you deserve. Like, I could just throw out like some big star and his sidekick, but I don't want to do that to you.
Sure.
So why don't we say, just because we talked about the trailer of this last week with DC Fandom, you're the Flash to my Flash, Mike.
Flash to the Flash.
And the reason I say this, because I went back and I rewatched that trailer for the Flash that we watched, and obviously there's two Ezra Millers in there.
Yes.
So I didn't pick that up the first
Backwards
time.
Flash.
Backwards Flash. So it's the Flash to my Flash, Mike. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
It's been a week.
It has been a week. And this is the week.
I'm just so tired.
Well, spoiler alert, Mike, there's another week ahead
That's
of it.
what I'm saying. It starts again tomorrow. That sucks.
But I think that we will go ahead and wrap up our Halloween specials in a way, because
Candy Corn Man.
Sunday is Halloween.
It is. It's spooky.
Granted, this is coming out Monday, so it's kind of a long time between this and Halloween, but it makes perfect time for the long Halloween, if you will, which is what we'll cover today, the Batman story.
Nice job.
Yeah, no, flawlessly stretched that together.
Feels like a big, comfy beanbag.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. That's how good of a job that was. It was a big, comfy beanbag worth of setting us up.
Or with the words.
And actually, the Long Halloween is kind of back in the spotlight because DC has released an animated version of it. The comic itself came out back in 1996. It's a 13-issue run, so ran over into 1997.
Sure.
But they have made it a animated movie like they do, and
Like
very
they do.
similar. The DC animated
like those folks
movies
with the pencils do.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
DC is really good about putting out animated movies.
They do a lot of animated stuff, yeah.
And to be quite honest, I prefer the animated movies to their actual real life movies.
Yeah.
Just because of the stories they're able to tell, the way they're able to do it.
And there's really only a
better.
couple of DC ones that you can pick up.
Exactly.
Neither one of them are Zack Snyder's.
No. So
It's been a while, so I figured
that's
take
fine.
that jab,
and he's not involved in the new movie, which is something though that I guess I can appreciate in a way too. Is they released, I guess it's easy to say, we've talked about it a little bit before, but The Dark Knight Returns, which is a lovely Frank Miller book that I absolutely love. And they made two great movies out of that. And what they did, because it's so much to get the story
two great
in.
movies and a third.
Oh, that's right. Yes, and a third. But they split it into two movies where it's like part one is like an hour, 20 minutes. Part two is an hour, 20 minutes instead of it all the way through.
Right.
So I've watched both part one and part two of The Long Halloween, and the story of it, there's enough little differences to where it had me guessing a little bit. Like it was really a who's done it. And to me, and I know we've talked about The Long Halloween a little bit, but I feel like it's a very good Two-Face book. It is, I guess, to set up The Long Halloween. So there's a Batman story called Year One that is basically covers Batman's first year as being Batman.
Sure. And that's what we think maybe Pattinson's Batman is based on.
Yes, we think that it's in this world, which is actually, it's nice to see that Bruce doesn't know everything yet at this point.
Yeah.
And there's even a point, like in the story, it's kind of funny. In the movie, Bruce and Selina both already know that they're Catwoman and Batman. I almost said Catwoman and Batwoman. Different
That's a whole different
podcast
story.
Yeah. But it's in the comic book, like I think she kind of knows, but he's still just like, why are you helping me? Like it's fun to see just a young kind of a detective that's not necessarily the world's greatest detective as we know him.
Yeah, he's learning. Yeah.
So the thing with the Long Halloween that makes it great is comic book wise, it's very interesting art. We're talking about 96 and 97.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in that 90s vein of how some of the characters look. But I think the story is just absolutely fantastic. And since I watched it all 3 hours of it, I'm going to go ahead and focus mainly. Well, it was part 1 and part 2.
Take a break in the middle?
No. I was into it.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And that's we'll go ahead and get into this because it's if they can set up this Pattinson movie,
Yeah.
The Matt Reeves Batman, if it turns out to be kind of like Long Halloween, then I think we're good because the story is just great.
Who is Matt Reeves, by the way?
He's the one doing the Batman?
Yeah, but I mean, what did he do before?
Oh, man, of course you would ask me that. You asked me last week, I could have told you. He Planet of the Apes. We've talked about that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See, I knew it would come to me.
Vernon Shirley. He did 3 episodes of MASH.
He did that one episode of Happy Days where the older brother comes out and then goes upstairs and is never seen again.
Sure, Chuck.
Was his name Chuck?
His name was Chuck.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
And then the one black guy they had show up on the show, Sticks,
His name was Sticks
because he could play the drums. His name was Sticks. Yeah. It was Happy Days. I mean, it was, you know,
Sunday, Monday, Happy Days.
It was Wisconsin in the 50s.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Happy Days. Thursday, Fridays, they're okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what we have here
He literally jumped a shark.
Yes.
I'm just saying he not only
that's where it's
jumped
from,
a
right?
shark, but coined a term that we still use.
Yeah, Jump the Shark is from Happy Days. Where
by the way, while we're in this
universe
sweet spot of mine,
Yeah.
I want to say R.I.P. Scolari. So bosom buddies,
yeah.
the other guy,
Oh,
Peter Scolari. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, then yeah.
He died like 2 days ago. It was sad. I would say, oh, Peter Scolari died, and everybody around me would go, who?
Oh.
So it was,
I've had moments like that. I'm sorry.
Peter Scolari was a funny guy.
He was. Okay. You had to explain it to me like that, but I do know who you're talking about now.
Poor Peter Scolari.
Sorry, R.I.P. So what we have with Long Halloween is it starts again. I'm going to try to find the most condensed way to bring this all down because it's a lot of stuff to cover, and we're not going to sit here and cover it all. If you want to read it, it's a fantastic read. It's a different read of where you're trying to figure out. You know, it's a whodunit. Both of these
was
are.
it several books or was it
13 issues?
Okay, all right.
And they've printed them now all together. As, like I own it.
They made a graphic novel.
It's in storage,
yeah,
but I own the graphic novel.
Gotcha.
Now, there's things that happen in the comics that don't happen in the movie, and vice versa.
Sure.
But either one of them
just
is
like Dark Knight or anything
Yeah.
else. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff.
But either one of them is very enjoyable. Basically, the main premise is the same. What we have here is a killer who is taking out members of Carmine Falcone's crime family. So the Falcone crime family, and they're getting murdered on a holiday. Like it starts on Halloween.
Okay.
Johnny Vitti, who is Carmine Falcone's nephew, he's shot while he's taking a bath, and like it's left. The crime scene's left there with like jack-o'-lantern. I couldn't think of what they were, and like they're staged like weird, just like if you think about it, like family just pictures.
Gotcha.
But they're Halloween related.
Yeah.
So he's gone.
His little brother off on Arbor Day.
Yeah. Well, no, Arbor Day is not one that's brought up, but maybe the killer just took off. He's not big on trees.
Sure. Well, maybe he is big on trees.
Oh, and that's why
This is my day.
That's true.
Yeah. Going to Applebee's and getting those appetizers.
We have Harvey Dent, who is Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
No Two-Face at this point. And he has a wife named Gilda Dent.
Gilda Dent.
Yeah. I didn't know if you knew that Harvey had a wife.
I did not, no.
Again,
Certainly didn't know her name was Gilda Dent.
I want to say before we get too far into this, just one more time, I'm going to follow the movie a little bit more than the comics. I'll explain where the comics branch off and are different.
Yeah.
So far, we're the same on everything, but there is a great panel in the comics of
Spoiler,
when you see,
it was the Joker.
They do a great job.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
so
no. He does appear. They do a great job in the movie and in the book of making you think it's one person.
Right.
Like they do that whole, try to sway you one way, and it actually kind of works and stuff. So, but in the comics, when Johnny Vitti dies, it's the scene of the bathroom. Everything's in black and white except him laying in the tub, and the water's all red. It's a gorgeous
cool.
shot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Again, the art of Long Halloween, even if you don't read it, just to go check it out, it's a very different art style, and it looks really cool.
They did that in the animated feature as well?
The animated feature is completely animated different. So that's what's a little weird, too. It's animated well. It's not as, like, detail-oriented, but it looks nice. Like, some of the older... I say older.
It's a lot of those. I'm sure it's just like a lot of those DC things that get released on DVD and straight to video.
It's very much similar in that kind of. But
DVD.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were they out of Betamax?
It's the same ones that get released on Laserdisc and Smoke Signals. Yeah.
You're still watching Smoke Signals? Who's
going to do it if I don't?
I just got an HD blanket, so it's supposed to make the
blanket. I like that. That's a good job. Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
that's as good as it's going to get.
We're not going to top that. So you can either stop now or just be disappointed for the next 30 minutes. So we have a
blanket.
Harvey Dent is still trying to take down Carmine Falcone in this.
Sure. I feel like the Falcone family is one that's mentioned a lot.
They are
in the Batman universe.
Yes, and the Maroni family.
Yeah,
like both of these are major players in this story.
Right.
So somebody's hired to blow up Harvey Dent's house. In the comics, it's a guy named Mickey and the group called the Irish or the Irishmen.
Pretty spot on with that name, aren't they?
In the movie, for some reason, I think they do it because there's a fight that takes place in like Chinatown. So they make it like a gang. Like the guy's name is still Mickey, but his last name is now Chen, and he speaks Cantonese. So it's like a triad gang.
Sure, yeah.
So they switch up gangs from being Irish to being triad. That's a difference between the comics and the movie for some reason. Either way,
I don't understand those sort of changes, but okay.
Also, though, like in the movie, Harvey Dent gets injured by the blast, by the house blowing up. And in the book, for some reason, it's his wife. Like they switch things like that too, but they do a very great job of in the movie because all you see is half of Harvey Dent's face.
Right.
And so you're assuming like, oh, he got caught in this, but then he turns and looks and it's all fine. Like there's multiple foreshadowing moments of that too.
Yeah,
which they do a really good job. Like
that's one of the villains that I don't really understand is Two-Face. I mean, I get it with the coin and all that stuff, but every time you see Two-Face in either a movie or a comic or something, he gets injured in a different way.
Exactly.
Like sometimes it's acid, sometimes it's an explosion, sometimes it's a dog chewed my face off, whatever.
Yeah, and this follows the one that we're most used to, but the spin it has on it and how it connects. Like I love this whole story because.
This is the Gus Fring type injury.
Yes. Yeah. In a sense. So everything's fine. His psyche's just a little off, obviously. And you see throughout the story that his
psyche's a little off after half his face is gone.
Well, no. He's fine still. He still has all. So that's what I'm saying. They do great foreshadowing of like his other side of his face is in the dark and you can't see it. And finally he turns to the camera and you see his face is all fine.
Okay.
Huh. And there's a couple moments like that where they're like,
it'd be cool if he looked at the camera and then half his face just slid off. Yeah.
Just instantaneously.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of a horror movie thing than necessarily. I don't know. Give them time. They'll figure out a way to do it.
I hope you're listening, Zack Snyder.
So basically the gang that blew up Harvey's house.
Yeah.
Dead on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
On Christmas. Trying to remember who ends up dead on Christmas.
Trichinosis.
Oh, what I do love during this is so like people think like there's just a little rumblings around Gotham that Harvey Dent. This is probably gonna be a terrible joke, but I just do it for the alliteration. Harvey Dent has a real hard on for capturing Carmine Falcone.
You did it.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, you're our 1 millionth customer.
So
balloons are currently falling from the ceiling.
There's like a conspiracy around Gotham that Harvey Dent is this holiday killer.
Yeah, sure.
They've coined the kill. They've called him Holiday at this point because It's on
Just like Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer.
exactly.
Right.
Did you see that they
said they did. Yeah, I don't know who it is. I
don't either. And the thing
seems like a very big letdown.
It is, because it's one of those things where like, oh, we figured out that it's this person, and I immediately went because I love the movie Zodiac, and I was like, oh, who was that? Character's not even in the movie.
No.
And so then it just kind of feels like, wait, I watched a whole man. Okay,
it was Brian Laundrie's dad the whole time.
So
sorry, that was probably a little too real.
Maybe. So on Christmas, I'm trying to remember who winds up dead on Christmas. I think it's the movie sets up this great thing. I talked about how it likes to like lead you one way or another.
Yeah, sure.
You see a couple things that aren't necessarily in the book, where Carmine Falcone has a son named Alberto.
Okay.
And there's also a story throughout of who's going to take over for Carmine after he's gone.
Yeah, sure.
Alberto he and his dad never had a great relationship. Like, he was sent away once he was young to go study at Oxford. Doesn't really know much about the mob life, but he has these ideas of how he can make the business better. His dad basically no faith in him whatsoever.
Right. Gotcha.
They're on,
those mob guys.
Yeah, they're on a yacht. They're on Carmine Falcone's yacht for some sort of.
Excuse me. One second. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Zach. I have to make mention that that was not a joke at any mobster's excuse. I don't want anybody getting mad at me. My house is just fine. Please leave it alone.
Oh,
I am very friendly to the Italian American community. Thank you very much.
There you go. All right, so let Mike get that.
I just felt like I needed a disclaimer.
No.
Yeah.
You're good. So give me a second. Now I'm all
brought to you by Falcone's Dry Cleaners.
There we go. Maybe I can talk. Sorry about that. Got super stopped up.
Allison, take that out.
Yeah, or you can and make me just sound like a weirdo. Where was I? Oh, so Christmas.
Yeah.
We get to Christmas, and I'll talk about Alberto a little bit more here in a second. But what I find, and this is part of the reason why I will still hold to the fact that I think the Joker is one of the greatest villains, not only in comic books, but in general.
Yeah.
Joker breaks out of Arkham Asylum, and he goes through, and in the movie, Harvey comes home to find the Joker like messing with his Christmas tree, and he's like, there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, like he's making a Grinch reference. But he's basically there to tell Dent that the city is not big enough for two homicidal maniacs.
Sure.
And he needs to stop.
Sure.
The thing that I found that's just so Joker to me is when he's talking to the police, one of them says, it's the third call we had. Funny enough, the other two calls were also from people with the last name Dent. Like, basically, Joker just broke out of Arkham, and he was like, I'm going to go intimidate Harley Dent. Pulled out the phone book and just wreaked havoc on all the other Dents before that.
Yeah.
Because there's a scene in the comics of where he's obviously at a house of somebody. Like, you see Dent on the mailbox, but it's not them in there. And he's still just, just being the Joker
doing
in there.
dent removal.
Yeah. Oh,
sure.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Hold on.
Thank you. 1,000,001 customer. Thank you.
There you go. Basically, the Joker's whole thing is he doesn't like feeling like he's outdone. He's being outdone.
Yeah,
by
I think
somebody
we've
else.
seen that in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he tries to reach out to Carmine and tells him, hey, you'll let me know any news that you find out. Like, he's trying to figure out who Holiday is.
Sure.
And all this as well.
Who Holiday is.
That's the
like
killer.
the
Remember?
killer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He feels like he's, I guess, losing a little bit of his shine because of this Holiday guy.
Yeah,
Nobody's been
absolutely.
able to catch him. The Calendar Man says that he knows who he is.
The
but
Calendar Man.
do you not remember Calendar Man? He's an old Batman villain. We saw him a little bit in the James Gunn movie, Suicide Squad. Remember?
Really? Calendar
He had
Man?
the tattoos around his head where he yelled at Idris Elba. It was his brother. It was James Gunn's brother. He played the rat.
Okay. I did not realize
he played
was
Weasel and he
Calendar
played
Man.
Yeah, it's very short.
Okay.
Julian, what's Julian's last? Julian Day, I think, is Calendar Man. And he's always been a killer that's obsessed with dates and stuff like that. He's already in Arkham Asylum. So obviously they go to him for help because a killer obsessed with,
Sure.
And
my
he's
first stop is Calendar Man.
Well, he tells him that, basically he can help, but he needs to be let out to do it. And Batman's like, you're not getting out.
No, I got to get out, Batman. I'm
And
a
he's
calendar
like,
man.
yeah, no. What we do see, though.
What a terrible name.
Calendar Man?
Yeah, that's just a terrible.
It's better than Condiment
It's
King.
a bad. Well, it's true. It is better than Condiment King.
Or Clock King. There's a lot
Abe
of something
Roman.
kings.
Abe Roman, Sausage King of Chicago.
Is he still?
It's Ferris Bueller. I don't know.
I just want to follow up on Abe. Is he still the Sausage King?
Oh, well, it's been passed down.
Oh, so
Abe
it's Junior.
Abe Junior.
They probably just call him Junior.
Yeah. He'll
so-
never live up to his dad's.
No, but those are some big
Casing.
casings to fill.
There it is.
Oh, that was what, 1 millionth and two?
That was.
I don't know.
That was a combo. We got to
Yeah,
share the prize.
That was. Basically, as I've just got myself kind of into a corner on facts, let me go back and just explain the story.
Sure.
The son is killed on Alberto, the one that we don't know about much, or that's different than his father.
President's Day.
Yeah, no, it's on Christmas.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's the Christmas one. No, he's not the Christmas one. Sorry. We got
New
a little bit
Year's.
ahead. He's one of the holidays. Just know Alberto dies.
Diwali.
He's shot on a boat and he falls over and is ran over through the propellers. I'm sorry, his yacht. They're
That's a rough way to go, yeah.
They're on Carmine Falcone's yacht. It's some big like charity thing.
Yeah.
So he's gone. Falcone, one of Falcone's bodyguard, is the guy who's killed on Christmas. Somebody dies on. Oh, that's what it is. Alberto is New Year's Day or New Year's Eve.
Boxing Day.
Yeah. So they're there on the yacht to celebrate some sort of like Carmine Falcone gives money somewhere. Bruce is supposed to show up.
Sure.
Alberto's there. They think from going through all this, they think Alberto might be the killer because he's always been like his father's not getting handed down to him. Doesn't think he's strong enough. So
Yeah.
Batman shows up to do this.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And Alberto's actually end up killed. So they're back at
Whoops,
square
not
one
him.
of not knowing who the killer is.
Right. Sure.
The Joker decides to also on New Year's.
So they go back to Arkham and talk to Alibi Man to see.
So while this is going on the boat, Joker also decides on New Year's Eve that he is going to spray downtown Gotham with gas, basically eliminating the people that are there. Like
Sure.
Batman says, half the town's down there, and
Yeah.
Joker's thought is basically that's fine. Then I have the chance, half of a chance of wiping out Holiday.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
he's just so obsessed with this.
Yeah.
Batman saves it. You're fine there.
And Joker he's trying to wipe this guy out because he's competition.
Exactly. Like he doesn't want anybody else above him.
Right.
While all this is going on, you see Harvey Dent's slow, just kind of descent into madness. He's constantly working all the time, trying to bring down, Falcone.
Yeah.
And he's meeting, like, their relationship has changed in a matter of months because it's gone from a guy that he's trying to bring down that now that Falcone has like police surveillance around him and stuff all the time because his family is constantly being targeted by this killer.
Yeah, sure.
So Harvey Dent's kind of having a hard time processing this. He's quicker to anger. Like you kind of see that Harvey Dent is starting to just snap a little bit inside.
Yeah.
Somebody like you have people like thugs are killed for Valentine's Day, for St. Patrick's Day. Batman, there's a part in the movie, Bruce and Selena Kyle break up. For some reason, they don't, this isn't going to work kind of thing.
Right.
Batman and Bruce Wayne is really Bruce Wayne. In the comics, it's explained a little bit better than necessarily in the movie.
Right.
But he becomes, he's seen out in public with Poison Ivy, or a woman who resembles Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
She has used her plant-like ability to get, how she can control.
Sure.
To get Bruce Wayne, she's working to get him to sign over his company to Carmine Falcone. Falcone has now started paying off what he calls freaks, as in the supervillains,
Sure.
to do work for him because of how desperate he is to get things done.
Yeah.
The big thing that you see happen, I guess, if we want to get into some of the story, is that Carmine Falcone is trying to find a way to launder his money.
Mm-hmm.
He gets the bank president on board, and they're going to launder it through there.
Yeah.
Bruce is a member of the bank, kind of realizes this. He's like, no, gets the current bank president out, and he's in place so that Falcone cannot launder his money. They find the warehouse where he stored like $1 billion something in extra cash, because in the 90s we don't believe in banks.
Right.
It's the equivalent of him burying it in his backyard, except it's a giant warehouse.
Sure.
Harvey lights it on fire because he's like, this will put a dent in. That pun was not intended.
Congratulations.
But this will put a dent in Falcone's business.
Yeah, sure.
So you kind of see a little bit of Harvey there too. There's also a point in the movie where he's like, flips his coin. If it's heads, we'll burn it. If it's tails, we won't.
Yeah.
It's heads, they burn it.
Yeah, sure.
You find pretty early though.
That's how you want your police to make
your
decisions.
DA. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a two also. I think if people know that it's heads for both.
Right.
So he kind of controls the outcome. So
my dad used to have a coin like that.
Really?
But it had a stripper on each side.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Like realistic or like
cartoony.
Oh, okay.
You know.
I'd never heard of stripper coins.
Well,
so
it was like, top half for heads.
They weren't
other half for tails.
They weren't like trying to get people to take those with them to.
I think it was a military thing, like
it
was very much a 50s / military thing.
No,
like,
that's fine. I just want to make sure.
Like those pins you turn upside down, the whole thing.
Yeah, and the ship. Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Wait, the what?
The ship. I had a pin once from like the USS Lexington.
Oh.
I had like, why do you turn it and like the ship moves?
Oh, no, I'm talking about you turn it upside down, the lady's clothes fall off.
Oh.
You ever seen one of those?
No.
Really?
That does sound like a military thing, though. No, I was asking about the coin because I was making sure.
This was just a creepy thing, is what it was.
I was asking about the coin. I was hoping they weren't like being like, yeah, no, you should take that next time you go to the club. These poor women are getting like coins belted out of them.
Sure.
So, back to the long Halloween. We have killings on holidays that take us up to.
Just pelted with coins.
Oh, man. Oh, so Valentine's Day, Poison Ivy is getting Bruce. He signs over like part of the bank to Carmine.
Yeah.
Catwoman figures it out and comes and saves him. And they're able to reverse what all he's given over to Falcone.
Right.
The next biggest murder happens on Father's Day. And this is where, like, up until that, everybody that's been killed has been a member of the Falcone crime family.
Doesn't Mother's Day come before Father's Day?
Yes.
Does somebody get killed on Mother's Day?
Somebody does get killed on Mother's Day.
Right.
Basically, they get a hit on who maybe be. The guns that Holiday uses, like they're customized in a way where like the file numbers are like numbers are filed off,
Sure,
and they're a little like, basically they find a. I don't want to. What do you call them? Not a. I guess an arms dealer in Chinatown that they go to see. But Holiday has already gotten back to him. That is the one who was providing him with guns, and he's killed him and left a bouquet of flowers for Mother's Day.
Gotcha.
The gunsmith's the one for Mother's Day.
Okay. All right.
On Father's Day, though, again, we're going to go through the movie because there are some changes. Sal goes to see his dad because it is Father's Day, Sal Maroney.
Sure.
In the process, his father is killed there by Holiday. So Sal shows up to Harvey Dent, and he's like, right before my dad was killed, he told me I needed to make peace. I can't believe he would ever say make peace with Falcone.
Right.
So I think he means the law. I'm ready to testify and give you everything I know on Carmine Falcone.
Yeah.
Harvey is ecstatic about this, sets it all up. We can see that Harvey is kind of starting to lose his mind in a sense. Like he's talking to himself. It's a gruffer voice. By the way, Josh Duhamel, the voice of Harvey Dent in the
animated.
Jensen Ackles is Batman.
I don't know who that is.
Supernatural.
Okay.
Not the long-haired one, the short-haired one.
Okay.
He's going to be in season 3 of The Boys, actually.
Yeah, I did see that.
So, but like he hears things that aren't there. Like he's turning around in court because he like hears like people talking to him.
Right.
And he's in court to get Maroney to turn everything on Falcone. While he's there, he's having a hard time like getting the papers together, and like he's just not all there.
Sure.
He's talking to Maroney, trying to get him to explain things, and hears like liar, murder in his head, like basically the beginnings of a split personality.
Right.
We're seeing Harvey just kind of split in half while we're watching this. And so he tries to gain his composure. And while he's doing this, Sal Maroni says, he asked him, he goes, you did all this murder and stuff. And he's telling him like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. And he goes, so under the duress from Carmine Falcone. And Maroni goes, Falcone? No, guy's an angel. And completely like changes his tune.
Yeah.
And he turns and he looks at him and he's like, this isn't what we agreed on. And he was like, he says his father's name, says hello. And he throws acid into his face. And that's where
there we go.
Yeah. Basically why it's gotten to that point is after he's made that deal, there's so much speculation that Harvey Dent is the real Holiday killer. Like he's so obsessed with Falcone.
Right.
That Maroni now believes this as well. And so that's why he acids his face, because
I can see that. Yeah.
all the news reports, like they do, again, the movie does a great job of telling this story, I thought. And they have it where it's like Carmine Falcone's sisters, like on like a Nancy Grace type show, like just be like, if we haven't looked into Harvey Dent, like we, like they're just
Grace.
pushing. It's not really, but
yeah. No, I got you. Yeah.
But they're just pushing this narrative.
Gracie Nance.
Yeah. And there's another point like before he's turned before that happens, where he's out on Independence Day. It's the 4th of July. And
somebody doesn't killed with a rocket.
I mean, somebody does die, but there is a Falcone pays a hitman to I guess they wanted to make it look like kill him, but really he didn't want to. He wanted Harvey Dent to chase him. Basically, Harvey Dent gets into a fight with this hitman.
Right.
And he gets knocked out. And when he comes to, he finds that Holiday has actually killed the hitman.
Oh, okay.
And he's got blood all on his hands. And there's a gun down there, and the police are looking. So basically, they have framed Harvey to look like Holiday anyway.
Did Harvey spend any time in the hospital?
A little bit,
Okay.
but he left.
Okay.
Like on his own volition.
I'm just
Like
saying
they
that
told him to
acid,
say.
Oh,
for that part?
Yeah, that's not something you just
and
meh.
yeah, there's it was funny because part 1 is PG-13 and because we're into part 2 right now, and part 2 is R, and I loved it because the story amps up in the second part. Like it's good to get all, and there's a little bit more violence, but there's just a little bit more, just I don't know, like seriousness to it. And like, so there's just little things that can be added that I feel like, just kind of change the tone of the whole thing.
Sure.
Because you're still watching an animated movie, so it feels a little kiddie.
Right.
There's nothing like, there's no sex or anything over the top there, which is fine because you don't need it in a story like that. They added that to the Killing Joke animated movie, which was no. And it has nothing to do with the fact that there's sex in anything. Yeah. Because I'm not prudish at all, and I really don't care whatever you want to watch. It's just weird when they add it to a story, and it's Batman and it's Batgirl, and that's a little weird.
I don't like that.
And it's not something like they just added it to the movie to add it. Kind of. That was why it was weird. I
don't like that.
But still, there's nothing like that. So it's all just violence, and then there's language in this one, but it's not like just coarse to be coarse. It felt great, like with how they did it in Daredevil in those Marvel series. It just feels like it makes it a little bit more adult without having to be.
Right.
Yeah. So Harvey is put in the hospital. He has, the bandages on, and he's laying there, and he eventually just breaks out. Like he can't deal with this anymore. Because he gets, that's what it was. He gets a phone call while he's in there from Carmine Falcone.
Okay.
And he's like, now's the perfect time. We also see him laying in the hospital bed after the acid, have like a conversation with himself where basically the two-faced side of him is telling him, Harvey, you're tired. Why don't you take a rest? I got it from here.
Oh, man.
So he's officially kind of gone into the darkness.
Yeah, he slipped off to the
with his head wrapped, he goes out to meet Falcone wherever, he wants him there. He gets a phone call while he's out there, and he's like, let me guess, you're not showing up, are you? And he's like, no, I couldn't risk it. And like basically he set up a trap for the rest of the family to kill Harvey Dent then.
Oh, wow.
Harvey Dent ends up breaking away, runs away into the sewers where Solomon Grundy is living.
Oh, wow. Solomon Grundy, that's somebody we hadn't talked about.
Exactly. And Solomon, it's weird because Solomon Grundy is brought up like once early on around Thanksgiving. And you're like, why in the world was Solomon Grundy brought up? Because he has a super small part.
Yeah.
But it makes sense later on in the book.
Solomon Grundy.
Born on a Monday.
He was in, he's referenced in a Crash Test Dummies song.
Really?
Yeah. Which I always thought was weird.
The only Crash Test Dummy song I can remember is that. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Is it that one?
No.
Oh, well, then I haven't heard it. So that kind of seemed mean. I didn't mean for it to. So what Harvey.
Screw that band.
What Harvey does, just to kind of wrap this up in a nice, pretty bow.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So he's down there with Solomon Grundy.
It makes me want to watch animated movies all of a sudden, which is weird because I don't ever watch them.
Dude, this one was really good. Like, it was one of those where I do watch them, and I know when I watch them that I feel like I'm on a certain nerdier level than the rest of my fellow comic book brethren.
That's what's kept me from watching them. I feel like I'm flipping. There's a boundary, and I'm going whoops, and just skipping right over that boundary. It's okay
just to step that toe over.
I don't know, man. You know, that's the thing you don't know about me. Like, I'll go all in. That's, you know, at some point I'll start wearing a tail and, you know, ears and
that's
all that
fine.
stuff.
I don't
No,
know.
it's not. It's not good.
It might work for you.
No.
All right. So well, that's your choice.
I've seen the renderings. It doesn't work.
The renderings. So he's
I've seen
there.
the court documents. It doesn't work.
Falcone's sister is killed on his birthday. I'm trying to think who else is all taken down through this.
It's a lot of them.
That's a lot
of them over
family.
A lot of holidays.
Harvey's officially split. He's escaped Falcone. He's partnered up with Solomon Grundy in a way. Grundy just constantly being able to repeat in the movie Born on a Monday, whatever. He just like, that's all how he can talk.
Yeah.
But Harvey just in his weird ways, like born on a Monday. And he finally just snaps and he rips all the bandages off to reveal himself.
Sure.
We are now taken down to where there's only two. Harvey Dent is going to go kill Sal Maroney then for the whole acid in the face thing, just to get back at him.
Good idea.
Holiday shows up beforehand, takes out Maroney.
Oh, wow.
Like while they're all there.
Was it a holiday?
It was. I'm trying to remember what holiday it was. It was one of those like Labor Day or something like that. I think it was Labor Day.
Labor Day.
So then we get all the way back.
Got a great deal on a mattress and killed a guy.
So Sal Maroney is gone. Harvey is out. Harvey basically breaks out from Arkham. Poison Ivy, Joker.
Oh, he's breaking these people out
right now for this point.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
we're
Joker is back in.
The final scene here is Joker. Like, they still don't know who Holiday is.
Oh.
There's Joker. There's Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy.
Which I love. I love Scarecrow.
And he's done really, like, even in the animated, he's drawn different, but he's like, there's some good.
Just like Jessica Rabbit.
Well, I mean, he's not drawn like that.
It's drawn different.
Not that kind of different. Like, I wasn't catching myself.
No, that was her quote, right?
Her tagline. Oh yeah,
I'm just drawn different.
That is true. Yeah. Well, I was saying I wasn't staring at like Scarecrow's butt or anything like that. He wasn't drawn that different in a way that it excited me.
Yeah, a little bit of straw hanging out.
Yeah. I love it when he has a little bit of straw coming out of them sleeves. You know what I mean? Kind of tells me that he's down.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do know what you mean.
He's down to clown, but not in like a juggalo way.
Can we move on? That'd be great.
Have I made everybody uncomfortable? Because that was the goal.
You're making me feel funny.
No.
No.
So, where were we? No. Okay. So, he has kidnapped he has released all these villains, and we're back to Halloween at this point.
Gotcha.
And
so this has been going on a solid year.
A whole year. They don't know who it is.
Wow.
They kind of ascend on Falcone's house. Mm-hmm. And in the scuffle, like Falcone's daughter's there and like tries to save him and stuff and help out. Mm-hmm. And Batman's there. There's a really great scene though where Two-Face just picks him up and he's like, no more. Like, he just has this whole just kind of spiel about how you always fixed it. Like, nobody ever came. And he's like, but now, like, we'll just do justice the real way. And he has that, like, he flips his coin and, and they're trying to stop him. And boom, boom, he puts 2 in Falcone's head. Two-Face kills Falcone.
Wow.
And the daughter goes over and wrestles the gun away from him and like pulls it at him, and she's just shooting and it's just clicking. Nothing's in there. She's just
in there, sure.
bawling. And he's like, I forget the quote. It was a great quote. He's just like, 2 shots only, beautiful, or something like that. It's just a great, they go, Harvey turns himself in.
Okay.
For this. Because there's still part of Harvey Dent, I guess, in there that's like, his whole thing.
Well, there
is
always was. I mean, like, he's always wrestling against the good side and the bad side.
Exactly. And his point here is there's not going to be any witnesses paid off. There's not going to be, like, this is going to be a straightforward case.
Sure.
I killed Carmine Falcone.
Right.
And also, I am the holiday killer. There's a scene I forgot to mention.
But he's not.
There's a scene that Batman does go down into Harvey's basement and finds 2 guns that are the exact same as
the one
other.
Used? Yeah.
Yeah, the one that Holiday used. Also, when Holiday kills, I didn't add this. It's just interesting. It's the same gun with a baby bottle nipple over the barrel of the gun because it makes like a crude silencer.
Okay.
I didn't know that, but apparently it does.
I don't think it does, but all right.
For the sake of this story, it does.
Sure.
And so they find, like, Bruce finds that, or Batman does, and
be
tells Jim about it.
I'm just saying.
It's just a regular baby bottle nipple.
Yeah, no, that didn't work.
Anyway, so it's all led you to believe that it is Harvey doing this.
Sure.
And in the movie, like, it sits there, and so it's all, like, wrapped up, and Harvey takes credit for all the other holiday murders because it looks like, with the evidence they have.
Right.
And then it shows Two-Face just sitting there in his cell in Arkham with his head looking down. And as he sits there and he thinks back, lets us just take a look back at this movie where we've seen his relationship. He as a whole has just kind of gone downhill from the Harvey Dent he used to be. We see from the beginnings, like, there's constant arguments between he and his wife about having kids, not having kids, creating a family. Like, there's
really
problems
deep now.
there.
Yeah.
Like, and we see this throughout the whole movie.
Okay.
Because I'd focus more on the story instead of all the little parts we see. And he's sitting there just thinking about how everything's come, and all of a sudden he looks up in realization and goes, Gilda. And we're cut to the Dent house, and Gilda throws a hat into the furnace, the jacket into the furnace, gun, baby bottle nipples into the furnace, and Batman's standing there in the corner. And she goes, so did he tell you it was me, or did you figure it out on your own? Gilda Dent is the real killer in the movie. And the reason why is we find out that she was in a relationship with Alberto Falcone.
Oh, no.
The son.
Yeah.
She got pregnant. He asked her to marry him the same day. Carmine didn't want to bring in a woman and a baby out of wedlock. So they forced her to get it taken care of.
Oh.
Against her will.
Goodness.
They annulled the marriage, and then they forced her to have an abortion. This just kind of messed her psyche up.
Yeah.
And her thing was she was planning on ripping from them what they had ripped from her.
I see.
So she came to Gotham and found the DA and thought that she could get information by being close to the DA. And eventually actually kind of fell for Harvey.
Right.
And that's that story there. Like,
so is it
there's a scene where she goes, "Are you going to take me in now?" And Batman just goes, "I need to know Holiday's done." And she goes, "Not done." Finished.
Oh, finished. Yeah.
And he turns around and he just walks up the basement stairs and leaves. And he leaves her there.
Well, wait a minute, Batman. You're supposed to take bad guys in.
Not in this one.
Okay.
Well, she was taking out bad guys.
Is it the same? Yeah, but she's also a bad person.
Here's the difference, though. not the same killer in the comics.
That's what I was going to ask.
So,
I don't think you tell anybody who the killer is in the comics.
Well, it's half right.
Okay.
She's still associated with it in the comics.
Okay.
But
But
I won't tell you
just her.
I won't tell you her accomplice. The person who basically takes credit for the holiday kills is somebody else, and I'll leave that be.
Okay.
So I'll leave a little mystery out there.
Yeah, because I think when people listen to this, they need to go and read the comic.
I will tell you this though. In the comics, nobody figures out that she is a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends in a great way of where she is burning everything, still like she does in the movie.
Yeah.
And her saying, "I still believe in Harvey Dent." And it's a great little, basically her
That's
thing.
cool.
I'll say her, the whole storyline about the baby and all that was made for the movie.
Oh. So it's different reasons.
It's a different reason in a sense of where she just wants Harvey home more.
Yeah.
Like she wants to be able to start a family with Harvey. Harvey's working all the time and she believes in what Harvey's doing, but she thinks that the wheels of justice are just moving too slow.
Yeah.
So she's going to help out too.
Okay.
There is another killer in there. I'll leave it so you can read the comics.
Yeah.
And also just like the art in this comic is just, to me, it's so different that I think it's great. I don't think that everybody will love it, obviously. But I love it. I'm pulling up pictures here so I can show.
This is one of those that I've heard a lot about, but I really didn't know what it was about. But it is one of the titles that gets brought up a lot.
Yes. Long Halloween is, see, like here is the group of all the villains. I wish I could just make this bigger. There we go. So, but just the art style of all of them. Oh, Penguin's in there too. I forgot about Penguin. I don't know how I could do that. Good old Penguin. Here we go. As you can see, like Joker has like a giant ear-to-ear smile.
Oh, yeah. No, I do like that art. That's cool.
It's definitely
it's exaggerated. It's
very
nice.
exaggerated.
Yeah.
Poison ivy is like a lot of just like floating leaves
She's
and
a big
stuff.
bush. Yeah.
Well,
I said she's a big bush.
oh yeah.
Yeah, get your mind out of it.
I didn't, but you see, like there's the Catwoman's wearing the purple, almost looks like a mouse.
Yeah.
But so there you go. That was a
That's
long
cool
Halloween.
art, though. I love the Solomon Grundy in the back too.
Oh
Looks
yeah,
like,
born on a Monday.
Frankenstein.
So I think that it's just an absolute great Batman story. So if you have the chance, go ahead, read it. Even if you don't want to read it, watch it. I enjoyed.
Yeah, I may watch it. I don't know.
It's good.
I enjoyed
enjoyed it.
My wife first.
Well, I don't want to get you in trouble or make you look weird.
Honey,
but,
can I watch this cartoon?
So there you go. That was Long Halloween. For next episode, Mike, I have an idea of something I want to try, and I want to see if it's up with you.
Okay.
I run into this issue sometimes with characters.
Yeah.
Where they're not long enough for us to make like a full episode out of, because it could only take like 10 minutes maybe.
Sure.
But it's one of those that I feel like we need to cover two of them. Or we need to cover them because they're just so ridiculous in some aspects. So I'm going to call next week's issue, or at least tease it as a double feature of dumbassery.
Ah, I like that.
We're going to cover two different villains next week.
Yeah.
For one episode.
Yeah.
To make it work.
I like
Because it's two smaller ones.
That's cool.
And I'm not going to tell you who. You'll just have to tune in to see. So that's what you can look forward to. We're going to get back to covering actual just characters.
Right.
Just for Halloween, I wanted to do a special
we took a
holiday.
Yeah, a holiday for this holiday.
Exactly. So that's what you can look forward to next week. Again, this is Bros, Foes, and Heroes. You can find us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Bros, Foes, Heroes, or you can email us at brosfoesandheroes@gmail.com.
Yeah. I have enjoyed this. And this was a really good one because you can tell that you are pretty passionate about this story. You really like this one.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And there's so many things that you read from it that I could be like, they could use that in the Matt Reeves one, just because it's supposed to be a younger Batman to begin with. Like,
Right.
where Robert Pattinson's going to be, this is like year one Batman. So
Right.
I think that we could get some of the same, there could be some similarity, some things that happen. Because we know for sure that the crime families are in the movie too.
Right.
So the only thing that's going to be different is that Riddler is in the comics.
Yeah.
He's not in the movie.
Yeah.
Very small part.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're doing a long Halloween one. Basically, in the comics, he's spared on April Fool's Day just to show the mob families that this is about them and not just about killing people. But yeah, go check out The Long Halloween. It was I enjoy both the comic and the movie. So either one, I think, are both good. But there you go. That's it for today.
Very good job, Zach.
Well, thank you, sir.
You did it.
I appreciate it. And we'll have more of the same. Hopefully a hilarity next week with the double feature of dumbassery.
Hilarity.
Maybe
Setting that bar pretty high.
Okay. Maybe you will be mildly amused next week. Is that better?
I think.
Is that a more accurate bar setting?
I think you go ahead and stick with hilarity.
Okay, we'll stick with hilarity then.
You've thrown the gauntlet.
Oh, like you can't pull back promises after you make them?
Right, exactly, yeah.
Okay, then fine. I guess we'll have hilarity next week.
Something from 300. I don't know.
This is Sparta. So that has been this week's episode. As always, we appreciate you taking the time out to come and give us a listen.
And everybody have a happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Right?
Have a happy Halloween.
Check your kids' candy.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not a long one.
As we saw in Halloween 2, there are razor blades and apples.
Was that Halloween 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Halloween 3 is the one with the mask, right?
Halloween 3 is the one with the mask, which is referenced in the new Halloween movie, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah. In the preview, there's a merry-go-round, and there's 3 people dead, and they have the 3 masks on.
Oh, I'll have to go see that.
And somebody, I read a thing the other day, they're talking about doing a sequel to just the 3rd one.
Really?
Which is crazy, but
that is crazy.
I'm fully on board.
All right.
I like Halloween 3. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it shouldn't have been called Halloween 3, but still, it was great.
Yeah, there was nothing to do. Either way, it's a decent movie.
I love evil corporation movies.
Oh, why not?
RoboCop, Halloween 3,
Oh, RoboCop. We talked about that a lot last week. But
RoboCop's great.
Oh, I love RoboCop. So that's it.
Go watch RoboCop.
Yeah. After you're done with the Long Halloween, go watch RoboCop.
They need your support.
They do. What's his name?
Peter Weller.
Yeah. Was apparently not fun to work with on that movie.
No, he's a terrible person.
But
I watched those things you told me to watch.
They were good, right?
Yeah, they were very good.
But we're not terrible people, but we are people.
Well, let's give it credit. Movies that made us.
Oh,
on
yes.
Netflix.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Movies that made us on Netflix.
Yeah.
I watched. Good. Yeah. I enjoyed watching that show.
They're very easily digestible chunks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're only like 45, 50 something minutes long, right under an hour.
But lots of information packed in them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
cool.
A lot of quick cutting stuff, so you're never like bored with how they're explaining stuff.
No, not at all.
I watched the new season. They have a lot more scary movies that they added.
What fascinates me is all the editing. I mean, because it's a butt ton of editing.
Oh, yeah.
Those things. Yeah.
No, but I watched the RoboCop and the Halloween one, which are both really good.
Halloween, RoboCop, Aliens, and Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th we watched. Yeah.
See, I started the Friday the 13th one, and I'll probably finish them all within this next week. I just really like those. But yeah, so those are worth a check out too. Until next week, this has been Bros, Foes, and Heroes. Everybody stay safe.
Comic-Con!
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.